collision right there.
Wow.
No. This is good. This is one of those ones where I don't even want to push in on that.
No.
I think the driver was ejected there.
A wanted reckless driver leads police on a high-speed chase through Southern California.
Hey, whoa! Jeez, oh, Pete.
Police chase armed and dangerous suspect speeds through surface streets across South Los Angeles.
Woo, here he goes again.
125 miles an hour.
Oh, really just
so picking up speed northbound 605 freeway. Looking out the window, I can tell you he's going to be coming up on a lot of traffic up there.
High-speed pursuit of suspect driving stolen BMW in downtown Los Angeles. A suspect in a pursuit led officers on a chase through East Los Angeles and Whittier on the afternoon of February 25, 2021.
Fallen law enforcement. This started up in the LAPD area. The vehicle was moving extremely fast. The LAPD was chasing it, but it got onto the freeway relatively quickly, and that was one of the reasons why law enforcement stayed with this car. But at one point got off the freeway, South LA area, and this high speeds, too many close calls, they backed off. Everybody backed off, and then actually the other LAPD units saw this car speeding, tried to stop, and not aware that this was a vehicle from an earlier pursuit, and it continually law enforcement saying, do not chase this vehicle, just too dangerous. Well, in the end, law enforcement, LAPD, stayed above it. Now you can see why they were backing off. That bumper hanging off, I wish I knew the reason why. I'm going to take a look and see if we get some information from some of our friends down on the ground. But you can see right there, this vehicle still moving very, very quickly. Now off on Garfield, very fast. It's a newer BMW, so you know these cars got some power, and it basically has been eluding law enforcement. Now, Sheriff's Department, that's where we are right now. This would be the area that would be chasing it, but because of these high speeds and because of the danger to the public, they basically decided to back off. And Marla, this kind of, this is one of those things where us in the media, we follow these things, we see what's going on, but the reality is this person is running from nobody, running from his own demons, as it would be, because these high speeds are not warranted. He might know that there's a helicopter above him. He might know that something's going on, but of course he does not see anybody on the ground. You can see he's making his way a little bit farther away from us. Our pilot today, Adam, and Vinny on the camera, we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to try to listen in, but you can see what law enforcement is dealing with today.
Yeah, so even though the ground units have backed off, this guy is keeping his foot on the pedal, blowing through these intersections, high traffic volume on these surface streets, now in the Downey-Norwalk area. So now we're getting on a freeway perhaps here, Stu?
It looks like he's getting on a freeway. He was paralleling a lot of them. It definitely making it way onto the freeway right now. I was just talking to Adam to make sure that he actually had the vehicle there on the ground. So what we saw earlier on the freeway is, you think he was going fast on the street? Wait till he actually gets onto the freeway. Marla, this is one of those ones, really, truly, it looks like he just got on and then off, off and then back onto the freeway. Excuse me, onto the freeway, then back off of the freeway. So we're right here at Somerset. But this is one of those ones where you just got to think to yourself, I never would I would never second guess any kind of law enforcement, and we just watch up here in the media, and we just just a guy in a helicopter calling a pursuit, but any kind of law enforcement, and we just watch up here in the media, and we just just a guy in a helicopter calling a pursuit. But this is one of the ones where this person clearly is continuing to be a danger to the public. And then the next question would be, well, Stu, if you were law enforcement, how would you stop it? Well, there's no way to actually do a pit maneuver. There's no way to get some, spike strips in front of this guy, especially at these high speeds, and very random pattern out here. Just to make sure that you guys know where we are right now, we're going to be on the 105 freeway. We're going to be coming up onto the 605 here in just a moment. We'll see which direction he goes. But this is one of those ones where you just got to kind of wonder, how are they going to stop it, even if they did get involved? Clearly the backing off didn't slow this guy down. Clearly the backing off didn't make this driver less reckless. So it is one of those ones where, at least if there was law enforcement trailing, there would be lights and sirens. There'd be a little bit of acknowledgement to the public at large. And again, definitely not criticizing anybody on their decision-making process. But watch this guy. He just basically was riding that center lane there on the HOV, almost swapping paint with 2 other vehicles. Clearly doesn't have any regard for that vehicle and or anybody else's life as he's working his way probably up to 120 miles an hour. That's what our speedometer is saying right now. And it looks like we're going to either be getting off the freeway right now, or we're going to be taking a southbound transition, or we're going to stay on the freeway and take, we are going to be taking the southbound transition, it looks like. But this type of speeds, this type of recklessness, it makes me, it makes me realize I'm happy I'm the reporter and not have to make a decision on how they're going to stop this thing.
Well, and then it also makes you grateful that you're, or makes you feel for these unsuspecting drivers in the area.
Oh, definitely, and you know it is the truth. We watch these things all the time. I've mentioned it before. It's not drama. It's not the I'm not trying to play up the situation. When these cars at these high speeds, even right here, you're just going, it's like you just don't want to see anybody get hurt. And he's moving so quickly. It is a BMW. It is more of a performance vehicle, but being driven this hard, that fast for so long, things get hot. Things start to wear out. The driver's probably going to start becoming fatigued, and that just creates, everything just builds onto the danger. Everything builds onto the next thing. And when you see these cars moving so quickly and in total disregard, running every red light, going through every stop sign, cutting people off right and left. It's a miracle that there hasn't been any injuries so far. We watch these things. We're always hopeful that nobody gets injured, and we just want to see that guy go, get those cuffs, get those silver bracelets, and that's the end of it. But right now, you can see we're on Rosecrans. We're back into an area that is a mixed area. There's a lot of commercial stuff out here, but there's a lot of residential as well, and more importantly, a lot more traffic.
Yeah, and slower speeds as they turn onto Woodruff Avenue. The other thing is we don't know how many people are inside this BMW. Obviously, at least one suspect. The car is impaired. We don't know how, Stu, according to you. We don't know why the bumper is hanging off of this newer BMW.
That's right.
Go ahead.
We were hoping that the assignment desk would get that information for us and try to figure out how that happened. It wasn't like that in the beginning. The original stop on that car, basically, as we understand it, was some sort of traffic violation, and then it kind of bumped up, and then they realized those plates don't belong to that vehicle, and now there's information clearly that it is a stolen vehicle. So it's kind of been moving around on what the original want was, but it's very clear that this vehicle moving very, very fast this afternoon, and total disregard for anybody around them. It's amazing that this vehicle hasn't gotten in. Clearly it might have, because there's that bumper dragging off the back there, but hasn't collided with any other vehicles as so far. This is what we're talking about right there. Luckily that light probably turned green. You can see another car making a left right there, but we are going to keep an eye on it. LAPD has 2 helicopters over it right now, so they definitely want to at least know where this thing ends, and are basically coordinating with whatever law enforcement. In this case, we're going to be working our way still in the Sheriff's Department area. So they're definitely working with the Sheriff's Department. I know that the officer in one of the helicopters was talking with California Highway Patrol earlier as well. So they're trying to coordinate an effort how they're going to bring this, how they're going to make that law enforcement appear when this vehicle comes to a stop. Hopefully it'll come to a stop under that, because that driver chooses to, and this vehicle doesn't collide with somebody innocent on the roadway.
Yeah, let's hope so, as he ducks under an overpass here. So, Stu, let's talk a little bit more about that. So the ground units have backed off because this has become obviously a public safety issue, number one, but they do have those airships up, so they are absolutely still tracking this stolen vehicle suspect.
Well, definitely. They definitely have been tracking. They have been tracking, and they probably will continue to until this thing comes to an end. Making a turn here, I thought that might have been an on-ramp, but it is not. Just giving everybody a heads up that our bosses and the folks that are watching us at home, Skyfox has been up for quite some time, and we are probably going to be starting to need fuel here in the next maybe 10 minutes or so. Just giving everybody heads up on that. So now we are northbound 605 freeway. The speeds are definitely going to start be picking up. We've seen seen this pattern in the past. You know, I'm not 100% sure on that, but a lot of these BMWs, they're limiter, meaning that the car, if it's factory and hasn't been tampered with, probably limited at about 125 miles an hour. So that's about as fast as that car is going to go, right about the 120 mark. That bumper just flapping in the wind right there, just kind of wondering when the last pieces are going to fall off. But you can see right now he's really starting to push it again. He's well into the triple digits, weaving in and out of these out of the traffic out there, and that's probably a lot of the biggest problem. You know, that we don't want to see anything like that. But you're driving along on the freeway, Marla, or one of your friends, and you just make a lane change, and you're not thinking that, you know, you look in the mirror and you're not thinking that car's going 120 miles an hour coming up on me, and you think you're clear, you make that turn, and then it turns into a tragedy. This vehicle right now weaving back and forth. It looks like we're going to be trying to get back off the freeway again, and you know, I can't even really choose. A lot of times I say, you know, the freeway is probably safer because everybody's going the same direction, high speed, you know, at a speed. But this guy using every chance he gets, squeezing between cars. Freeway, roadway, this guy's a hazard. I just hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, I hope so too, of course. So yeah, we've seen him maneuver his way, blow past all these vehicles on the shoulder, weaving in and out of traffic. Speeds 120 miles per hour. We've seen that plenty of times already. So we picked this up on surface streets in the Southgate area. Now we're on the northbound 605 still in the Whittier area. The want, we believe, a stolen vehicle. This did come back as a stolen vehicle. It's a four-door BMW, obviously tinted windows, if I'm not mistaken. Stu?
Definitely tinted windows, and I would venture to guess it's probably a 7 Series. If it's not a 7, it's clearly a 5. But you know, these cars are extremely solid vehicles. They are performance vehicles, and he's clearly using every little bit of that car, even though it's not, you know, it's not his. He's driving it like he stole it, probably because he did. We also know that the license plate on that car comes back to an Audi, so they call that cold-plated. But you can see that vehicle really just kind of picking up speed northbound 605 freeway. Looking out the window, I can tell you he's going to be coming up on a lot of traffic up there, especially if he stays over there away from the #1 lane. He's more to the right that he stays, the more traffic there's going to be. So I'm guessing he's probably going to either he's going to jump off the freeway or he's going to try to push his way through. But it's definitely starting to back up as we're making our way north out of the Whittier area. You know, here we go on the emergency lane. But it also, you know, law enforcement following it. Everybody's kind of got eyes on it, but how are you going to stop it, Marla? I mean, honestly, it's like I get asked that question all the time. Do you have any ideas how you're going to bring something like this to a stop?
Right. I mean, it's usually the pit maneuver, the spike strips, but obviously he's going just way too fast. The suspect is driving just way too fast for either of those to happen. And these roadways, you put everybody else in danger. So you mentioned that he was approaching heavy traffic, and that's what we're seeing here, maneuvering off to the side to scoot by. This is the only thing that can slow this suspect down at this point, northbound 605. You mentioned, as we continue to watch him maneuver past the traffic here, Stu, cold-plated. Explain that.
Well, cold-plated is basically the license plate that's on that vehicle doesn't belong to that vehicle. Also, if everybody was watching right now, some people might be saying, oh, the car is smoking. That is basically dust and debris that's in the emergency lane. And also another thing is, like, when I see pursuits like this one, and they get into that emergency lane, I'm always kind of thinking to myself, you know, I hope he picks something up and just gets himself a flat tire just to bring this thing to an end. It looks like we're going to be getting off the freeway right here. There's going to be the 605, and just to make it real simple, cold-plated is the term that most law enforcement use for a license plate that does not belong to the vehicle. So basically they ran that plate. In this case, we actually heard some of that information came back to an Audi. This is clearly a BMW. So somebody had put a different license plate on this vehicle. Right now, you know, the other information tells the law enforcement that this is a stolen vehicle. Originally, how it came about that they wanted to pull it over, that's a tough one. I think it actually was some sort of traffic violation, but we'll figure that all out later on. Right now, we're just keeping an eye on what's going on. Hopefully, nobody gets hurt, and maybe this vehicle will just come to a stop someplace. Or, you know what, Marla, even though it's a BMW, this guy's been pushing it hard, or lady has been pushing it hard for quite some time. So possibly we might just see this vehicle run out of gas.
Yeah, and this is unconfirmed, but we're wondering what happened, why this vehicle, why the bumper of this BMW was hanging off of it. So earlier in the pursuit, unconfirmed that this suspect hit another vehicle.
That's sad. Well, hopefully that other vehicle doesn't have severe damage, and hopefully more than that, nobody has gotten hurt. It probably was. The only reason I was kind of questioning it is because of where that damage was. That could have been some sort of a pit maneuver done by another agency. Like I said, we were listening to this earlier. Earlier on, and we wanted to go, but there was that we were covering the fallen deputy story, so we all decided to stay at that deputy out of respect. But clearly you can see that this continues to move. Look at this. This is the first time we've actually seen that vehicle stop since we've been here. Don't know really. That it's kind of interesting because he could have basically made a turn in either direction, but maybe he's starting to calm down a little bit. Maybe the adrenaline is wearing off, because clearly there is no black and whites. There's no law enforcement on the ground following this vehicle. Clearly a number of helicopters are, but right now there's nobody down there. This is the issue right here. It's a cul-de-sac. Yeah. So, but I can't see it from my vantage point right now to see what's going on. I really have a feeling that there is no law enforcement that's coming down the street. That would have been a good opportunity to block them in, but clearly that didn't happen right now.
Right. So the units have backed off on the ground simply because it's become a public safety issue. This suspect driving way too fast. We are now in a residential area in Whittier, currently on. Is it Tomas Avenue or Tobias? Sorry, it's my distance from the camera, from the screen here is quite a few feet. So Tobias Avenue in Whittier. We're talking about how we can bring this to an end. I mean, the ground units, they backed off, as just mentioned. We have the airships above tracking the suspect, stolen vehicle suspect. Could have been involved in an earlier accident during this pursuit. We saw one of the airships go underneath our Skyfox shot there earlier. With those excessive speeds, a pit maneuver is not feasible, but they could use the spike strips as well.
Well, Marla, that's the thing. A lot of times we'll watch these pursuits, and they'll have a license plate, and they'll know, okay, he lives at this address. The vehicle will make their way to that address, then maybe do circles around there. And that's when the spike strips, there we go. Maybe that's when the spike strips would really come in handy. But in this case, this vehicle has not traversed the same spot twice. This started up in the Rampart area, out by Boyle Heights, and made its way all the way down here to Whittier. Drove through a shopping center right there. The pit maneuver, we both know, his driving is becoming a little bit more erratic. We both know that the pit maneuver, there's just not enough. Oh, look at this. He's going to park it. Well, almost perfect in the line. Or maybe he's going to correct it right there. Nope, he's just decided to drive over the curb. That's interesting. But at any rate, there we go. Just keeping it going right there. I don't know what that was all about. It was something interesting to see for sure. At any rate, back onto Whittier Boulevard, and just kind of moving along. Still, he's getting so close to so many of these other cars. It is a stolen vehicle. We heard that from earlier on. It's just sad to think that this driver just really doesn't seem to care about what's going on around him. And also, it probably is the last thing, even on that driver's mind, is that he's probably putting himself in a lot of danger as well, running through those areas. There we go. That might be the first of the law enforcement. Now, Whittier has their own PD, their own police department, and they, again, we assume that everybody's on that same page. They know that that vehicle is in the area. We'll see what happens right now, but that cruiser definitely making a U-turn, making an effort to chase it. We're just kind of watching this. He's driving extremely more reckless.
Oh, yeah, on the other side, across those double lines. Yeah, it is nerve-wracking to watch him weave in and out of this Whittier Boulevard here in Whittier, of course. And Stu, it gave you a little bit of sigh of relief to see a black and white in our picture, but we're unsure if
definitely
they're
fell
back
behind it.
Yeah.
Even if that officer, oh geez, here we go. Oh, you know, even if that officer had the reaction time that we saw, I mean, right away, lights and sirens made that turn. There's a good possibility Whittier PD also being told, do not pursue this vehicle. We heard it, like I said, wanted to get on this pursuit as soon as we heard it. You know, we heard law enforcement tell their officers several times, do not chase that vehicle. And then when everybody backed off, you know, somebody else saw this vehicle racing by. They got behind it, turned on their lights and sirens. Hey, we're in pursuit. And they right away it was like, no, back off. And that's what's been going on pretty much this entire time. Looks like we're making our way back into another shopping center. I don't know if this person is trying to do one of these, you know, bail into an area that's populated to try to blend in. But you can clearly see these are the things I really don't like when they get into these bigger parking lots. You've got people that are just out there shopping or doing whatever they need to do, and you just don't expect a car to come barreling through there. You know, everybody's asking me, I'll put it out on the air. I probably think because we have an airport nearby, I'm guessing that we probably have another 10 to 15 on station, meaning that we have another 10 to 15 minutes to show our folks at home how long we can, this chase. But after that, if that BMW doesn't run out of fuel, we're going to have to definitely, up here in Skyfox, we're definitely going to have to go get some fuel.
Right, because earlier we were up and over the procession for the LAPD, pardon me, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy tragically killed on his motorcycle on duty this morning. And that's the Skyfox picture. We're back. Good. And so we were covering that for our viewers, and then this was already underway. So this has been going for some time, and as you say, it was really picked up near Boyle Heights.
Really, that's when we were down in the Lakewood area when this thing started, and we heard the initial chase take place, and made its way quickly out of the Boyle Heights area into the downtown Los Angeles area, and then onto a freeway, and then into South Los Angeles. This is one of the things I was going to kind of mention earlier on. Whittier has a lot of beautiful trees out here, and I'm just hoping that he doesn't get his way into some of these streets out here. The tree lines just go for, you know, miles, literally blocks and blocks and blocks. So anyways, he's staying in these neighborhoods out here, and I can guarantee you, I'll honestly, to anybody listening right now, meaning our bosses or people at home, Adam, our pilot today, keeping us safe. Believe me, we have El Monte Airport very close by. We're definitely not going to run the helicopter out of fuel, but as soon as we have to go, we definitely will. Whoop! Oh, that was close. Oh,
Near miss.
Hello, officer.
Right into
yeah, right there. And this is one of those moments where you just kind of think, oh, look at that. I wonder if that guy did that on purpose. Yeah. So anyways, this is just, and it must be so frustrating for law enforcement to have that suspect like come up right up on you like that, and then have your supervisors just say, yep, no, you can't, nope, don't engage. So that it must be just, you know, they're people just like you and I, and you're telling them, don't do your job. And it must be so tough for those guys and gals in law enforcement. Right now you can see we're in a very residential area out here, not too super familiar with Whittier, except that there's a lot of trees out here, and you can see him kind of weaving his way through there. Some stop signs, and then back into that tree-lined area, which is always an issue. Law enforcement definitely in the area. I haven't seen him pop out, Vinny. I haven't seen him pop out yet. And then LA, one of that black and white cruiser is right behind him.
So I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, there he goes. So let's see where he. Okay, he went. Up the street, or not.
Well, that
he parked by a driveway
stopped
down there, somewhere down there.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, that's the officer running.
Okay.
So, Vinny's gonna keep an eye on that officer, see where he's going right there. But apparently the suspect is out of the vehicle and apparently is running. So I'm gonna get on the get on some of the radios. Push it down, push it down, push down, push down.
That could be the suspect.
We're moving Skyfox here to get that shot again with these trees. So we're working to find him too, Marla. We definitely are.
At approximately 12:50 p.m., The driver nearly collided with a patrol car near Washington Street and Philadelphia Avenue in Whittier. A short time later, the male subject exited the vehicle and ran a short distance before surrendering.
Armed and dangerous. This vehicle moving really fast. Look at that. And oh wait, whoa. Oh, that was close. And yes, we're ready. We're ready. If you want to come to us, just come to us.
An armed and dangerous suspect led authorities on a high-speed chase through South Los Angeles on Tuesday, December 10, 2024. He was driving at high speeds on surface streets and nearly colliding with other vehicles.
There he goes. Chasing the van. I don't like this. Whoa. Jeez, oh, Pete. Southbound Hooper. Hey, what was the original want on this besides crazy driving? Did we lose the IFB? I think we lost the IFB. Yeah, I need IFB, guys. I need IFB. I need IFB. I need IFB. All right, never mind. Woo, here he goes again. If anybody's listening to me, I do not have any IFB. I have no IFB. Whoa, jeez, I turned it up. Now I have IFB and hearing issues. Yeah, he's moving now. Hey, standing by. Does anybody know what this thing was wanted for? Okay. Yeah, no kidding. Let's try to get ahead of him a little bit. Whoop. Stopping. Traffic coming towards us. Nope, going through an alley. Back out on the gauge. Coming at us. Yes, I do. Oh, we're already on digital. Well, hey, everybody, we got a pursuit. I'm really tired. What about you guys? Armed and dangerous. This vehicle moving really fast. Look at that. And you know what? You get weird feelings about these things. And this one, I'm just not getting a warm and fuzzy. I really think this is going to end poorly. They're cutting off another guy right there, really, really close. He's really high speeds and very, very dangerous. Anyways, hopefully he slows some of these speeds down a little bit. We're in the South Los Angeles area. You clearly see where we're at right there. But at any rate, they have backed off. The vehicles, the ground units, they have backed off. The helicopter's still tracking, but this vehicle's still running like he's running from some demons. Wait. Where is he at? There he is. Okay. At least he's slowing down a little bit. Oh, there's somebody still behind him. Why did they say they were going into tracking mode? Maybe that guy didn't get the memo. Yeah. A lot of peds. Whoop. Changed his mind. Through Hooper. Yeah. A copy on air. If you... Psst. I feel the sting. Are you sure we're not going north? Up, coming back towards us. More people. More people. Oh my gosh. More pet traffic. And cars. Lost some.
We have some breaking news right now.
We're pursuit here in the South Los Angeles area. We're kind of just lost him behind some of these cars, buildings right there. He's really starting to open it up again. Very dangerous pursuit. We followed a lot of these pursuits in the past, but this vehicle, hang on, coming out towards Gage. So he's probably, up there he goes. This is how fast that vehicle is moving. We are trying to keep up with him right there. But anyways, armed and dangerous, that's the original one. But very, oh my gosh. Anyways, LAPD's in pursuit of this vehicle. We're going to try to keep up with him right there. We're losing him behind the buildings because I can't believe the speeds that this guy is going. And there he goes again right there. But again, LAPD has the task of keeping the public safe while this driver is clearly, trying to hurt himself or somebody else. The speeds that we've been seeing on this one and the fact that there's people out on the roadway this afternoon, meaning pedestrians, so many pedestrians, making a westbound turn right here, we're off of one of the majors right now. Looks like we're on Naomi, but it almost looks like that vehicle's leaning a little bit right now.
Once the suspect entered the intersection of E, Slauson, and S, Central Streets in the Florence neighborhood of South Los Angeles, he struck a pickup truck. He then attempted to flee and was tackled within seconds by multiple LAPD officers. The suspect resisted arrest but was later taken into custody. The innocent driver who was struck by the pursuing suspect was able to exit his vehicle, along with a passenger who also exited the vehicle.
Whoa, taking him down. Taking him down right there. Anyways, this was a pursuit, very, very dangerous. You got to really give it to LAPD. They did an amazing job. They were going to go into tracking mode, but the person was too dangerous. Right now, though, you can see it. LAPD taking him into custody. This is on Slauson and Central. But again, apparently that vehicle did crash. We're going to try to get a little bit closer now that it is not a pursuit anymore. Maybe we can get a little bit closer. We can see what he crashed into. Hopefully it wasn't a pedestrian or a person. But the LAPD definitely taking him into custody right now on Central near the cross of Slauson. And we're going to get a little bit closer, a little bit closer.
Pursuit on eastbound Highway 210 in the Montrose area, and the suspect suddenly collided with the rear of an aerial dump truck near the Ocean View ramp.
Well, the 210 is traditionally kind of one of those freeways. It's like if you live in the valley, it's kind of that secret way around things. Yeah, you're going to put a little more miles on your car, but you're not going to sit in traffic for the most part. So this is going to be pretty much wide open. Now, it depends upon where he winds up, or she. If we take the two.
The wrecked vehicle came to a stop in the center lanes. The unidentified driver was pronounced dead at the scene. The dump truck driver was in shock from the fatal collision but was uninjured. At approximately 10:05 a.m., the suspect continued driving, even with flat tires, after officers deployed spike strips in hopes of ending the chase. Moments later, the chase continued along Coldwater Valley in Studio City, where officers attempted a close-in search maneuver.
And that's always very nerve-wracking and dangerous to see.
Definitely. And again, this is continuous. We've been climbing uphill right now, making our way. We're behind Mount Lee, and you can see that vehicle still continuing on. I wonder if that was a California Highway Patrol that he passed right there. It's just one of those ones where you just kind of wonder, what is the point? I always kind of think to myself, why is this person running? You know, they're not going to get away. If it's an emotional thing, maybe this is getting something out of their system, but you're putting so many people at risk. Anybody you're passing at those high speeds, and then of course, you know, yourself behind the wheel. I understand that there is a little bit of a helicopter swap right now. We actually have a sheriff's ship over it. We are in La Cañada. Maybe they made their way over here knowing this was coming their direction. But those speeds and how this person passing everybody out here in the La Cañada Tujunga area, it's a little nerve-wracking. And then those lane changes, they've been kind of sweeping right now. Like you said, a little bit Friday light. He's got those opportunities to make those kind of wide turns. But sometimes he gets into those traffic situations, and even at those high speeds, makes those abrupt turns. I'm worried about this vehicle colliding with somebody else on the roadway. Everybody else doing the speed limit. This person doing almost double the speed limit.
Yeah, anytime you see a car driving like that, whizzing by you, you kind of wonder, you know, what this
clock mark of Good Day LA Plus, GDLA Plus, and we welcome all of you. We are watching this pursuit. We began watching this towards the end of the 10 o'clock hour. Stu up in Skyfox over the scene right now. There you see it on the 210 East, passing exit 17, La Crescenta there. Obviously, this vehicle we hear is a theft suspect, wanted for some kind of a theft issue. You see how dangerous this individual is as he or she makes his or her way down the freeway there.
Oh my gosh.
Very close to so many vehicles. I know, it is really nerve-wracking, just complete disregard for any rules and laws and other people's safety at this point. So Stu, pick it up from there and tell us what else you see happening down below. We don't see the black and white vehicles or any CHP from this vantage point, but obviously they're giving this person some space because this is where it gets very dangerous, when they feel as though they have nothing to lose.
You know, I'm trying to. Whoa! Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh!
I don't want to show that on television. Yes. Oh no!
Oh wow!
No, no, no! This is good. This is one of those ones where I don't even want to push in on that. No. I think the driver was ejected on that collision right there. We're going to need a moment or two to actually find out exactly what happened, but definitely collided with that pickup truck. And this is what I was talking about the whole time. That type of collision, you know, that if what I saw is what I saw, which I hope it's not, this has come to a very tragic ending. You can see the California Highway Patrol. I want to push in, but I don't want to put anything on air that would be offensive or, you know, that we don't want to see. But you can see California Highway Patrol still kind of close by. Maybe that was just the airbag that I saw floating around on the outside of that vehicle when that collision happened. But it definitely looked like it definitely hit on the driver's side. There is no doubt about that. And of course, it ripped open the side of that car. California Highway Patrol making their way over there right now. I'm looking for some kind of acknowledgement, if I can push in a little closer, if I should stay wide. It looks like they are taking the person out of the vehicle right now, but that condition I can't say because we can't see it. But this pursuit coming to a very tragic end out here. See that type of incident happen out there, and of course this person probably very injured, and this pursuit coming to an end out here with a tragic collision on the 210.
That was a violent end.
Miles an hour.
That was a violent end to that pursuit, and you can see all the black and white, you know, patrol cars. They have the freeway pretty much blocked at the moment. We saw the driver. The impact seemed to be only on the driver's side of the vehicle, right? And you could see that, it just ripped an entire hole through the driver's side of the vehicle and dragging some of the parts of the car. We don't want to zoom in too tightly on that car right now because it is, you can see, it is quite the bloody scene.
However, the chase continued. Shortly after a thorough search, the suspect's vehicle was wedged between a residence yard and several patrol cars. After unsuccessful attempts to force the suspect to surrender, around noon, 3 SWAT teams arrived and surrounded the truck. The vehicle was apprehended shortly before 12:40 p.m. A wanted reckless driver leads police on a high-speed chase through Southern California.
We'll slow down a little bit. Slowly, slowly. I'll give you little cues that just slow, or if I go like that, it's like really fast, and I'll keep them in the same spot. All right, I got it. Slowing down, hold on. Looks like they pulled over. Colin, got it. You got it. Hey, Chris. What's happening, brother? Yeah, Marcel says hi. Imperial.
They believe on board that silver vehicle there has gotten out now. Pursuit started in Walnut. We believe they were burglary suspects. They believe there's 4 on board. There's the second giving themselves up. We're on the freeway at a high rate of speed, in and out of some residential areas. We don't think anyone was hit in this pursuit or hurt. And it looks like now authorities are going to get these 4 into custody. It's a corner of Imperial Highway and Wright Road in Southgate. So Imperial Highway is shut down in both directions. Traffic could be a bit slow through here until they wrap this up. Right now, it doesn't appear it's going to be a standoff. It does appear the suspects are in the process of giving themselves up. Philip, Colleen?
Copy. Well, we got to see the last one get out, right? Is that the 4th or is that the 3rd? That's the 3rd, but it doesn't look like maybe there's only 3. They did say 3 to 4. Can't tell. Yeah, no kidding. They have uniforms.